Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Live from New York. Hi, how you doing today, huh? This is Alex. This is the Ramble. We go until midnight. Yeah. Yeah, midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, when we want to find out what it's like to be technically non-proficient and living back in the 19th century, we go to Larry Bubbles Brown. Or wait a minute, is this the 21st century now?
I think it's the 21st.
Jeez, I've lost all track of this. In fact, I've lost all track of time. What do you know? What day this is?
All I know is it's snowing in Houston.
No, I'm trying today. I think today or last night when I was going to sleep, I was trying to figure out how I remember what day of the week it is. I have a clock that actually has the day on it, day of the week, but I never look at it. But I wonder how I keep track of it. Like we were doing this on a Monday, although they'll probably play it on a Friday. But I woke up this morning knowing it was Tuesday. Oh God! See what I'm saying? How do we keep track of it now with COVID? We're just one day. They have a new day they call Blur's Day, and it's every day is Blur's Day. Every day is Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I've lost track of time. I used to be able to go back and count what the last 7 days what I did, and now I can't at all.
You know something? I'm very glad that I do a nightly show, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, because then I know where Saturday and Sunday are. And then on Monday, I pretty much know where that is. But because I'm doing something, if I didn't have that show, I would probably go, what day of the week is this? I have no idea. So maybe having some, but you're in a worse shape because you're not even working, so you don't have that Monday,
so
Tuesday.
I totally lose track of time. It's been a lost year, and this must be what it's kind of like if you're in prison, I would guess.
I mean, do you wake up wondering what day of the week it is?
I have to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're the guy who remembers days. Watch this, folks. December 18th, 1964.
In 1964, the 18th was a Friday.
I'm not going to look it up, but I bet he's right.
Well, let's look at it. 64, yeah. Friday.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know what the mental process is that you go through.
I know. I kind of can't explain it myself.
It's not a subset of being smart.
I don't know, because I feel like I'm not very bright. But
well, you are bright. You are.
No,
smart.
if I were bright, I could figure out how to use a smartphone. Or
No. That's an entirely different set of skills. Okay, I mean, I know morons that can run that stuff. All right, I mean, are comedians bright by nature? Because actors
the good ones are, yeah.
Yeah, actors are stupid. But
that was, yes. The actors have a reputation for being not too bright.
Yeah, and now people go, well, how come, what? How can they not be bright? And the answer is because they're always playing other people. They're simply imitating life. They're not going through some kind of intellectual process to do what they do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they really often, they don't have a personality of their own. They're just...
Yeah, whereas comedians go through an intellectual process to make jokes and to find out what's funny and to, that's part of it. The other part is performing, but there is a intellectual part that you have to have, a component.
Yeah, and the actor is just using someone else's words. He doesn't do.
Yeah.
He's not writing it, so.
And also, you don't have to be too smart when the director says, okay, now when he says this to you, you give this kind of reaction. Okay, I want to see you go. Yeah, and they talk you into the emotion that you're supposed to now do. That's what a good director does. But people always said, "Oh no, I thought actors are smart." I said, "I'll give you an example." I said, I had a friend whose best friend was Robert De Niro. Okay,
I've heard stories.
and we were at dinner. And I think it was there with my wife at the time, and I can't remember which wife was my wife at that time. I said, pretty much actor. And then we got into a discussion. I came up with this: actors are dumb. And she said, but, we have a person here who knows Robert De Niro. He's not dumb, is he? And he went, he's the dumbest human being I know.
Really?
He's just horrible. He says he's a nice guy, great actor. But that acting comes from somewhere else. It doesn't come from smarts. So.
Didn't Hitchcock say he referred to the actors as children?
No, worse than that. He said he said somebody, I can't remember who it was interviewing him, and said, I understand that you think that actors are furniture. And he said, no, that's not what I said. They should be treated as furniture. He thought they were furniture. They were part of the component to create what he was creating. And he needed them to do what they did so he could do what he did. I mean, he didn't even like shooting a film. He said that was the most boring part of making a movie. He says the best part about making a movie is when you got all these little clips you shot and you put them together, you edit them together in a film. He said that's what's exciting.
Wow.
Yeah. And I can see that. I certainly would go along with that theory. I always, when I was doing video, shooting was a means to an end. Once you had the footage, then you did something with it. So I understand him.
You know the importance of a good editor.
Oh, no director ever underestimated the value of a good editor. In fact, I think it was Scorsese, until did she die or retire, had the same editor for almost every film he did. And I'm trying to remember her name now. It starts with an S. She was the editor for Scorsese for years, just years and years.
Do they work together, or does she have the final call?
No, they work together, but she will tell him, "Here's the best way we can do this, and we can get this, and we can get this effect, and get the emotion." When a person is editing a film, they're editing emotion, they're editing everything. They're editing for impact. And a good editor can take a bad film and make it good. I remember taking pieces that we did. The first time I ever learned how to edit video well was we went out and shot something, and it was what we shot. Usually we shot from the beginning of something to the end of something. And then we would just put that on the air. And in this case, everything was going wrong, and none of it was making any sense or whatever. So I remember that we had an interview we did with one of the people that did this performance or whatever. So I took that interview, and I took just the audio and ran it over video of these individual little pieces we'd shot that we didn't think we could put together in a meaningful manner. And that's when I learned how to edit. That was editing, where this person was talking and we were seeing this bit and that bit and this bit and that bit. And I learned how to take something which we thought was a lost cause and turn it into something. I showed my partner, Bruce David, the video the next day. He was saying, forget it. We didn't even get a shoot on that one. We didn't get anything. Look at the footage. It's terrible. I I said, let me play with it. And the next day I called him and I said, look at this. And he said, wow, you made it work. And I said, I suddenly learned how to edit. You know.
You think editors should get more renown in showbiz? You don't hear about them that much.
Well, they're a very important component in filming. I think they're probably the most important outside of the director, who just is overseeing everything. Okay, but I
bet most people couldn't name one editor.
No, this woman's name was Schoonmaker. I can't remember now. I mean, I could look it up, but I don't want to take the time right now. And she did every Scorsese film. And if you think about Scorsese films, one of the things that you really feel stands out is the editing. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the beginning of something like, what is it, Casino? I think was the name of the show. What was it? What was the one in Vegas? Was that Casino? Yeah.
That was Casino, yeah.
Casino. You look at the opening Casino, the first 15, 20 minutes of it. It is just the editing and the timing and the, it tells you everything you want to know about running a casino.
Oh, yeah. That is a great opening, yeah. That's one of my favorite movies.
But if you just forget about any other aspect but the editing of that, it's incredible. It's just incredible. It makes the film. And so people go to a movie and they go, well, they always think the star is like the biggest thing on screen. And the fact is the star is just, can I say it, furniture. At best they're furniture. They're good furniture. They're, exquisite furniture. The best furniture.
All interchangeable.
If you would go to a furniture store and buy the best furniture you could buy, that would be De Niro. Okay? But it's also because you can mold him. You can tell him to do it a certain way, or here's what I want out of you. And he's not this intellectual who's going to say that, well, I don't know, I don't exactly get the idea of the person, And you think about all these actors and actresses, and the smartest ones don't have as big a career as the dumb ones.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let me put it this way. I think they're kind of like you. They're, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you're stupid, but you've got a talent.
A savant.
Savant, yeah. I think De Niro's a savant. He has one thing he does, and in that part of it, that's his worth, So he's a savant.
I think Jerry Seinfeld, somebody asked him about acting, and he said, well, children and dogs can do it. How hard can it be? Exactly.
I mean, comedy, it's the old saying, that the guy in his deathbed said, they said, is dying hard? And he says, dying's easy, comedy's hard. And he's right. Comedy is hard. It may be the most difficult profession to master. But when you see somebody do it well, it's like watching Jascha Heifetz play a violin. When I heard you in your latest thing that you turned out that's on Amazon, free plug, I heard a virtuoso. I heard comedy being played by Jascha Heifetz. I'm not praising you because I don't believe it. I really felt it. Your timing is there. All the elements. You were playing it like a well-played violin.
Wow, you made my day.
Well, no, but it's not a matter of making your day. That's what comes from doing it for so long. People go...
39 years, you should be able to do it fairly well.
These kids want to see young comics, and I'm going, go see the old ones. These are the guys who've been doing it so long that they've got it down to a fine art.
Well, Durst said that he felt the older comics are kind of like the old blues musicians. Do it so long, you get pretty good at it.
Well, anything you do long enough, you do better. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing this as well as I used to. But,
I think you are.
But I don't feel it. But I can do it. That's the thing. I open up a microphone and say, Bennett, talk for 15 minutes, and I'll talk for 15 minutes.
And most people couldn't do that.
Most people couldn't. I couldn't have done it when I was starting out. I always had to have guests as a hook because I didn't know what I would do without them. I mean, I still like to have people because otherwise, talking for 15, if I had to talk for 2 hours, I could do it. But I would be exhausted after I was through doing it.
Yeah.
Because the mental agility that it takes and the acuity is pretty big, So, what the hell, And then you die. That's the part.
Then we're forgotten.
Let's go a little bit over here because I want to bring this up to you. The sad part about it is when I see somebody, I read about somebody dying, an actor, an actress, a musician, whatever, and it's somebody I really liked, and I go, gee, they died. And now all those years of honing that craft and doing it as well as they did it, and believe me, folks, if you listen to somebody who's been around for 80 years play the guitar, and he's still got the agility with his fingers, he's better than he's ever been. Okay? And so you get to this point of being a virtuoso, and then you die. It's all gone. It's never going to happen again. And you spent your whole life honing this skill to this point. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I find it depresses me. Now that I've depressed everybody out there, I think you and I have done our job.
Well, I think you and I are just, I think we're in a minority of people that think like this, but it's so true.
Well, Woody Allen tells the story of that he always wanted to meet Groucho Marx. Because, who wouldn't want to meet Groucho Marx, right? And he said he finally met him after his third heart attack. And there was just this vegetable of a man there. And he said, it depressed the hell out of me that for all his life of having skill and doing what he did and going through what he did, in the end, I'm meeting a guy who lost all of it because he had strokes and heart attacks and so on. He said, and I met Groucho Marx, but I didn't really meet Groucho Marx.
Exactly.
And that, I always remember that story because it is kind of depressing if you think about it, that all the years of honing his skill and all that comes to that, and he's still alive. That's the worst part.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that doesn't depress me is talking to Durst, okay, because he hasn't lost it up here, pointing to head because we don't have video, but up here, he doesn't have a problem up here, and he doesn't have a problem in his voice and his speaking. It's just part of his body won't work.
Yeah, he called me the other night. He sounded great.
Oh, you did talk to him?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, he's he's surviving. He's going to be. He's not going to be okay, but he's going to be good enough okay that I think he'll be doing some comedy. Anyway, I feel like I have to sneeze, and before I sneeze, I probably should call this quits. Okay, so nobody has to hear my ugly sneeze. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Bubbles Brown.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome to our program. This is Alex coming to you from New York City. Would I be lying? Could I point to that out there if we weren't coming from New York City? Of course, I could probably put up the Golden Gate Bridge there too, because it's a green screen back here. Why is it I ruin the magic of television? I could just say, hey, it's magic. It's what we got. This thing back here, doing that. Anyway, how are you? I wish, I used to, when I would go on the radio, every day I would talk about what happened to me in the last 24 hours, and I always had some interesting little adventures, or I could take something that was rather mundane and turn it into an adventure. That's what we in broadcasting do, and it's a good thing. But there were my life had a lot of things happening in it, and now There's nothing. I mean, here, okay, am I going to make a story about, oh, you know what I did this morning when I got up? I went to the Keurig coffee maker, and I suddenly noticed that my favorite coffee that I usually have in there, I was starting to run out of. So I went to Amazon and ordered some more, and it's going to be here tomorrow. Okay, is that an interesting story? No, it isn't, because nothing's happening in my life outside of this damn green screen back here, which allows me to at least have a professional-looking program. But I mean, it's just I wish I had more adventure in my life. And maybe now tomorrow I'm going to get my second COVID shot. Finally, at last, okay. And that'll probably take me several hours, standing in line. But I'm getting my second shot, and that kind of it gives me a little freedom. I don't know if I would be as afraid to get on an airplane, for instance, or take a subway, because even if I got COVID after having the first shot, and especially after having the second shot, there is no one, at least this is according to one of the people that was on MSNBC, there is no one who has died of COVID who has had the vaccination. All right? So that gives me the ability to at least maybe come back here and tell you the story about my trip on the subway, instead of my trip to the kitchen. Maybe once every 3 or 4 days I actually do venture outdoors, and I'm beginning to realize that my legs are atrophying and I'm running out of energy because I've been indoors for so long. And I'm sitting here griping about this, and I'm griping to a bunch of people who are in the same exact boat. I mean, what did you do today that was exciting? Okay? What great adventurous story do you have to tell me? So, it's just like that. And I really feel, like my life is just, I'm 81, okay? How many years do I have left? If I'm lucky, 20, but that isn't going to happen, so I'm not going to live to be 101. My mother did live to be 100, but that doesn't mean I'm going to live that long. So I only have a few years left, and I would like to do something with them. I would like to do some interesting things, have some interesting adventures, go some places, do some things, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. So the last years of my life, which I could spend traveling and having adventures and going places with Marjorie and us having fun in our twilight years, and having enough energy, because I've walked, and I can walk around Paris, and I can walk around Rome, and I can walk around any number of cities. I can even maybe climb up to the top of the rice terraces in China. I'm coughing today. I have a cough. I'll tell you about that in a second. So I feel very depressed that I can't take these last years of my life right now and do anything with it. It's just ridiculous. So anyway, enough about me. I know I gripe and I grouse about this sort of thing, and I really shouldn't. The other thing was, in my other adventure today, was I woke up this morning to a rap-tap-tapping. So something was rapping on my door, and it wasn't a raven. It was they're pointing the building. Have you ever heard about this? They point a building. I know I've heard. They said we're going to point. Well, what that is, they go in a brick building. They go into the cracks and they get out all the loose cement that's come loose all the years and so on, and then they fill it back up. All right. Shecky had to do it at his place, and the reason he had to do it is because it was he has a brick house, he has a brick home, and so they had to do the pointing on the brick. So here they are, they're tapping. Now they're not tapping, now they're pneumatic drilling. and right outside my window, there are two guys looking at me, and I'm waiting for them to turn the other way so I can get out of bed and put my pants on. Okay, so that was my exciting morning. Was waking up to that, and then we couldn't do anything. We wanted to watch a movie, we couldn't watch it because this drilling was going on outside the window. It was ghastly. It was just ghastly. So that was my big adventure for today. Okay, that's my big complaint for today. Why do they have to do that outside my bedroom? Hold on a second. I gotta get some get some cough drops. See, I'm getting a cough the day before my my COVID shot. Just I can hardly wait for that. They'll say to me, "Oh, you can't come in. You're coughing." Oh, and the reason I'm coughing, I think, is because they then, after all this pointing, they bring out we saw outside, they bring out an air hose, and they start just, air hosing everything they've done. And we noticed, because we had a little leak in the window, that a lot of the dust was coming into the apartment. Okay? So now I'm coughing, and I think it has something to do with the dust in this apartment that came in yesterday. So that was that other thing. So see, I do have adventures. They're mundane, but they're adventures nonetheless. Anyway, I think it's time for us to go admit our citizen panel, and they're all waiting to come on. And let's see here. Here they come. There's Dan Meyer, and there's Alan, and there's Trucker Steve, and there's Charlie Wallace, and there's Brian Neary, and it could be you too if you want to join us. Just go over to the Gabnet page, gabnet.net, and over on the right-hand side of the page it says click here to Zoom us, and you just click on that, and it'll automatically take your computer right to us. So, yeah. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Hello, Brian. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Trucker Steve, without the dog.
Hello.
Because he's in a truck that isn't his own, so he doesn't want a dog who'll poop all over the place. We're ready to go with our show. I want to bring something up, and don't feel bad about this, Alan, because I'm on your side. Okay? But I got a note today from somebody questioning something about the show and something that he had something he wanted to say about something we discussed or whatever. And then he wrote, "I don't listen to the show anymore because Alan's on it." And I'm thinking to myself, the nerve of this guy, the nerve of this guy. He never calls the show. So you're going to put down somebody who has the nerve to call the show? It's ridiculous, So I was a bit bothered by that, and in the beginning you were a little manic because you were new to the thing, but now you wait for your best shot, and I think you're a very good guest on the show. And so to that guy who, he griped about Phil when Phil was on it, and now that Phil isn't on it, he says, "Well, I'd almost prefer Phil back."
Nobody else would, but he would.
And I'm going, okay. Oh, excuse me, folks, that got in the way. I'm trying to do something. I got to bring my, do my video here a second, and bring it down just a little bit here, because my head is popping off the top. Okay, so there we go. Okay, now we're fine. All right, and I will admit Ray Renati. And see, what happens is, watch this, folks. If I have something on my desktop using this format, it shows up when I bring it up, see, in there. But if I use the other panel, but it's not as much in sync, I don't have that same problem. So for the time being, while this is in sync, I'll keep it that way. and then we'll go to the other when it gets out of sync.
So where's this guy at? I'll go kick his ass.
I don't know, but I just, I get notes like that. I don't like so and so on the show. Yeah, with Phil, I never got rid of Phil on the show, and there was a good reason why I never got rid of Phil on the show, because I don't believe that I'm going to bow to that kind of pressure. I invite people to be on this program, and I expect them to be themselves. But don't feel bad about it, Alan, because
I got thick skin.
Yeah. And as you've been here, you've learned how to wait for your best shot, and and I think you're a great addition to the panel.
Okay.
Unlike Jeff, who just is so annoying, who is so annoying on this program. Every time he comes on, he just won't shut up.
He can talk right now. Nobody will hear him. His mic's off again.
Tell him, Phil, Dan.
Yes.
Tell him what you wrote on the YouTube page the other day about Jeff.
I wrote something. I'll have to look at it because I forgot exactly what it was.
It was something like, do I find the fact that the Jeff?
Oh yeah, it was because that happened like 2 nights in a row. And I it's not like I have anything bad to say about anybody, because I don't really know anybody that well. But I
just tell them what you said.
It's entertaining.
You said the fact that Jeff sometimes doesn't know how to turn the audio down or do this, do that is entertaining. And is there something wrong with me for feeling that way?
Right.
And I have to agree with you. That is one of the entertainment values of Jeff, is that he can't find the way to turn down the show. But now he's learned how to do it, so we have no use for him anymore.
And Larkin's light is always on now. It's no fun.
Yes, Larkin's light doesn't go off now.
And then Tony's mom passed away, so he never gets pulled away when he's on.
Yeah.
Yes, this show sucks now.
I know.
I
Jump the shark.
I'll tell you something. I'm going to stand up for Jeff, which I always would, but and everybody here. But I think, Dan, you ought to go back in and pull that off.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's wrong.
I think he meant in that loving way, just like we say about Tony's mom, and just like we say about Larkin's always doing the clap on, clap off. It's
but
hysterical.
Somebody else will read it. Why put something like that in there?
Well, no, I mean,
what's somebody else gonna think?
What he's basically saying is he likes Jeff.
I don't.
Right.
But that he finds his inability to do certain things entertaining, and is that wrong of him? And I don't, I like it when
do you think it's wrong of me to feel that way, Alan? I mean, as a reflection of me as a person.
You're welcome to feel any way you want. That doesn't matter to me. You're you. But I don't know, to put something, I wouldn't go on the Facebook page, which we're trying to get more people on the show, and I wouldn't write something negative about somebody else.
Well,
and did you mean it in a negative way?
I would say it to their face, but I would,
What?
I said I'd say it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dan.
I didn't come on and say, "Oh, he's smoking marijuana," or "He's
what's he high on?"
Yeah. I didn't come and point that out like
somebody. But I say that to your face. Because then you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, anybody can read that.
What's interesting? What's interesting is I will get a lot of messages from time to time about one person or another, or I don't like Phil, or I don't like Alan, or any number of people, and even some people who are totally innocent and not guilty of anything. Okay, but I think the fact that he chose to find this out about Jeff was fun. That I've never seen anybody say anything bad about Jeff, ever.
I don't
Well,
have any.
that's why I said I'm
I have,
defending him.
it's very, when I
I
wrote
think-
that, it was very endearing.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah.
You have a note from my
yes.
mother or something?
it was
maybe?
very endearing. So when,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
very
So
endearing
so.
thing.
Yeah, and Alan, you should ask the person who wrote it what he meant by it, because don't interpret what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I take that as a loving way, just like I said, just like my examples,
But,
just like Ray putting up the curtains again, you know,
Yeah.
well, that's okay.
entertainment value.
Yeah.
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 Somebody has to represent for Tony.
Hey, man, I take it as a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
There he is.
Hey, there's Tony! Hey! Oh my God!
Yeah.
Now, Alex, you can actually do Tony's background too now with your green screen.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Like I want to do that.
Wow.
I should have ripped a piece off and put it in the casket.
You know.
One of these shows we all ought to do Tony's.
Yeah. Oh, look. Ray has his Tony background.
Yeah.
There it is.
My mother lives on, Alex, with this wallpaper. It's
It's
terrible.
better lit than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And Tony, since your mother's died, you're not fun anymore either.
No, I'm going to try to bring her back to life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking of
Don't
doing?
bring her back.
I would never do it as a joke. I should get the Ouija board on and see if she can contact me.
Who
Oh, that could be fun.
somebody on the show said you should bring her back.
Yeah. If you bring her back to the Ouija board, and what she says to you is, "Did you play my numbers?"
I did today. It hasn't come out since you passed away, so let's go.
What? You still play the numbers?
Yeah, 613. Her car license plate.
Wow.
She wasn't the
Keep
best
playing
driver
that.
either.
How many times?
So
How many
she's still so
times in
slow.
all the time that you bet for her did 613 come up?
It actually did straight in the last year and a half. One time straight and 2 times box for $40. She thought what she hit. Yeah, she.
And
thought,
how
I mean,
much
Mom,
money did
please-
it? How much money did it cost to get into that?
Oh, forget it. She was a loser, Alex, in that sense.
And by the way, if you want to talk about bad taste, forget about what Dan wrote about Jeff. Look at what Ray
Bernardi.
has done about you and your mother. Look at that.
Oh, geez, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I wasn't
So
thinking.
good.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm posting that on Facebook. I'm on Facebook right now.
Oh, that's
That's
terrible.
the best.
That's got to go.
Yeah, that's got to
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I mean, the house has never been so quiet, though. I mean, I don't want to make a joke of it, though.
You're always
I'm so used to her calling me. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny how you have these things with people in your life that bug you or not bug you, but they're these things that happen in life, and then maybe people complain about stuff, and then actually when they're gone, then you miss those type of things.
We
You're
always
right,
figure.
Brian. I miss her nuisance.
I'll tell you. We figured, and when I say we, I mean myself and I think Shecky too, that if your mother ever died, you'd be a mess. Look at you.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I miss her. I do miss her.
I'm not saying you
But
don't
she
love her
would-
or you
she
don't
wouldn't
miss
want me
her.
to. She was a funny person, though. She wouldn't want me to laugh. She wouldn't want me to be like, she always told me that.
Yeah.
She says, "Don't kill yourself and work hard." I said, "All right, Mom, I'll try not to." I said, "Really?"
Yeah.
But she was very laid back, my mother. So I know what I miss.
Mm-hmm.
I miss watching the old TV shows with her. So when there was a movie I'll never forget. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we watched it last year and I never seen it. And she likes the holiday movies, right?
Yeah.
It was I forgot the name of the movie, Alex. It was from like 1940. Something with
Something with somebody.
It was a holy type movie. Something with Sister Mary Bernadine. She was.
What?
She winds up getting sick, and it's like a holy. She sees like a ghost, like the Holy Mother.
You're not talking about the song.
Shecky knows the
Wait a
name.
minute. Wait a minute. You're not.
Oh,
Wait a
okay.
minute. You're not talking about the Song of Bernadette.
Yes, that's
Yes.
the one. She made me watch it last
That's
year.
about Lourdes. It's about the woman who saw
Yes.
Jesus, and
Yes.
everybody
That's
goes
the
there
one.
every year now and leaves their crutches behind.
Yeah, and they don't believe. You know what? I watched it last Passover with her, and it got me a little tearjerker because now when I was watching it again at the end of the movie, because she dies, my mother was crying. I always remember now when I watch that movie. I'll watch.
Why do I know this sort of thing? I couldn't even remember
That was
tonight how to do certain things to get the show on tonight because I took my nice pill last night and it makes me addlepated. But how do I know this? The star of that movie was Jennifer Jones. Now, who
Yes.
knows who
Oh, I
Jennifer
love
Jones
Jennifer
was?
Jones.
Alex, was she popular?
What
My
would you
mother
say?
liked
What'd you
her.
say, Charlie?
I love Jennifer Jones. That portrait of Jenny was just fantastic. One of my favorite movies of all time.
But Jennifer Jones, I would say, if we said there was an actress who doesn't get remembered, it's her.
My mother loved her, Alex. She was crying at the end of that movie. She said, "Was so good in it." She said.
Wasn't she? Didn't she play the mother in the Partridge Family?
Jennifer
No,
Jones.
that was
Shirley Jones.
Shirley Jones.
Shirley Jones.
My mistake.
That was Shirley Jones, my friend. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, John, so what happened to your light? You fixed your light. This is boring now. Can you go back to the
Yeah.
old light?
Well, then we talked about the fact that your light now never goes out, so you've lost your entertainment
Your
value.
entertainment value has gone down.
You know, and Trucker Steve doesn't have the dog with him right now. You know.
Down.
You know.
Adrian's not here. Down.
Yeah.
All of us are losing our entertainment value.
Yeah.
That's why we're losing viewers.
I think so. Oh, here comes Ray Renati back again.
Sorry.
Mom, back.
Just quit diddling with your stuff, you know.
I have
just-
ADHD. I can't stop. I
mean-
do.
I mean, I could put
All right.
some. Listen,
And
I
he's
could
not
put,
even Jewish.
I could put some horrid things on behind me, but I don't. Look at this. Isn't this nice? Isn't that a nice background?
Well, mine's
Yes.
okay. It's San Francisco during the day.
Mine's got video. It's, the lights are going on and off and stuff back there, you know. But
I like that.
yeah, I'm very
Oh, wait.
happy with it.
I don't have the-
I had some ugly ones I could show you, but I'm not going to show you. Now, but wait a minute. This was the one that I was thinking of using, but wait a minute. I got to figure out where are we on the panel here. Okay, so I got to do this. Wait a minute. What do I have to do? Oh, wait a minute. Which panel am I using? This one. Okay, there we go.
Okay, Steve, you can kill the light.
Now you can
Let's
use.
see here. See, I can get rid of. Oh no, jeez. I don't know where is this? Where is I don't know how I do this now. I just think it's it's whatever my camera. I know where it is. I'm not going to do it. Forget it. It's going to take too much to do.
I like the picture in the background right now of you, Alex.
What, the picture that I'm using?
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, the New York. Yeah,
that's
I
nice.
find that's the best one.
Somebody called it San Francisco a minute ago.
Well, the thing I liked
No, that was
about
me.
No,
I'm in
Renati
San
had-
Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I like about it is that I looked at a lot of stuff and I had the Gabnet logo in back of me and a whole bunch of other things. And they were just too busy. I didn't want something that was really busy. I didn't want something that would detract from my beauty, you know. So,
That's why I blurred my background so everybody can see my beauty.
yeah. Or,
You stand out.
yeah. But anyway, so anybody have any interesting adventures? I was talking about how adventureless my life is now. Anybody have anything that was an adventure of some sort? Oh, John Larkin.
I went over to Moscone today where they're giving shots,
Yeah.
and I asked them, said, "Hey, can I get a shot?" And they said, "Well, you have to be, in some kind of a certain, tier level." And they said, "You got to be over 65." I go, "Well, I'm 63." And they go, "Oh, okay. Well, then, do you work like in a service?" And I go, "No, not really." And I go, "I did have a comorbidity though. I just got over
Shingles.
Shingles.
no,
Shingles.
Over COVID.
Shingles.
pneumonia. I had pneumonic about a month or
pneumonia.
two
Oh, you
ago.
have pneumonia, yeah.
They said, "Okay, yeah, go ahead, go and get in that line." I saw this fucking line. I said, "You know what? Fuck this. I'll just wait till I'm 65."
Yeah.
And if you waited in that line, you would have gotten to be 65
Yeah,
before
I
you
know,
got
yeah.
there.
It was a total mess,
As I said, I never waited in the line that long without getting an iPhone at the other end,
I got mine too, and I froze in one of those lines. Froze to death. It was
Really?
windy and freezing.
Well,
didn't bring
it's
a
supposed to
jacket.
rain tomorrow, and
I
imagine,
find that iPhones freeze all the time in the cold.
yeah. Well, we're going to get out. We're going to get there early tomorrow, earlier than we should. They say only show up 5 minutes beforehand. We don't have any place to put you. I just know there's going to be a line. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going
Yeah.
to go down there
I found that out today too.
We're going to go there about a half hour early. And
So Robert got his shot yesterday,
yeah.
and he wasn't on last night or today. I wonder if he's okay.
I told you it knocked me out the day after my shot. Wow.
But,
I didn't
what,
feel a
your,
thing.
you mean your first shot, Charlie?
No, my second shot.
Second
Yeah, my second shot Wednesday. I was dead all day yesterday.
That's
I
what,
could hardly
that's
stay
what I
awake.
hear. So you go lie in bed and just take it easy. Yeah.
Better get the COVID.
Yeah. What were you just? You felt exhausted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the what people say. It's just fatigue. You know, no big deal. I'm tired all the time, so I'll just be a little more tired. You know. And how long did it take for that to start happening?
The next day, I mean, I was fine Wednesday.
Mhm.
You know, I had the shot at 5 o'clock. I was fine the rest of Wednesday. I woke up Thursday morning and I could hardly get out of bed.
Really?
Wow.
Maybe it wasn't the shot. Maybe it's you getting old.
Some people say
Well, I mean,
I had the shot at 1 o'clock, so I'm okay.
age.
It's one of the side effects of the shot.
That shows it's working on the second one. It's like your immune system is activated.
Absolutely.
Attacking.
Did something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I got somebody coming over Sunday
Yeah, fine.
to work on our washing machine and dryer. So I hope
Oh, not again.
I hope I can at least get out of bed to open the door for him. You know.
Well, that'll be.
Just
Well,
remember to
that'll
put
be
some
good
clothes
to
on.
Hear about on Tuesday. We'll hear.
What about Tuesday? Yeah. No, I'm. You know, some people say they've had no problems with it the next day, and other people say they've gotten exactly that, but it's nothing terrible. You know, I mean, it wasn't
tired.
insufferable. You're just not used to being that exhausted. Yes, Alan. See,
Yeah,
Alan, Alan
Dan,
raises
what
his
really
hand. Huh?
What really bothers me is not that you smoke weed or that you're high on the show. Is the damn blinds behind you are never straight.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
crooked.
okay.
Who are you talking about?
It's a little crooked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
Oh, Dan.
smoke pot before you come on the show, Dan?
No, not all the time. I mean,
Trying to figure out if this is the
I mean,
normal.
no,
meal.
all the
that's
time.
not that has neither of those two things have anything to do with each other. That's just because my windows suck and I'm not very good at straightening out my blinds.
He's a bachelor. You know, come on. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I could put on one of those backgrounds,
you
and
can
then
see
wouldn't
you
get
can
half
see
the
he's
day.
a,
there
he's
you
a
go.
I'll tell you the difference between a bachelor. Dan is a bachelor, and he doesn't
Yeah.
care what that room looks like, right?
Right.
Right.
I don't give
On
a
the
shit.
other hand, Brian is married.
Here, I'll move to San
Brian is
Francisco.
married,
Is that
and his
better?
wife makes sure everything's in the right place, doesn't she?
But
Brian?
you still see my window through there.
Huh? Huh? Brian? Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm very anal about stuff. This is my office, so I keep it really nice and neat.
Yeah.
Really?
In the garage, and then
Right.
she has her closet.
What are you,
This is
gay
why
or
I
something?
blurred my
What?
picture. My office is a mess, and that's why I like the blur.
Yeah.
You
You're
know?
on
I'm
mute,
trying
Ray.
to find a blur.
Ray, you're muted.
Well, this
Yeah.
room is very nice. Look at the view I have. At last, I'm not showing that bookcase behind me anymore.
With
Oh, thank God.
those millions of dollars of CDs, DVD worth,
Huh? What? Oh, yeah.
all the DVDs, all your fortune back there.
Yeah. Yeah. And this thing, the green screen comes down really fast, really easy. Yeah. I just push it down. It just goes right down.
I got to get it one like that.
Yeah.
This one's, yeah.
Yeah. It's terrific.
Hey, Alex, did you get your little SAG award card where you can like watch all the movies and stuff?
They're all yeah. Every year, this time of the year, it was a great time of the year because we would get to get screeners of movies that were like in theaters and stuff, right?
And they were great
It
DVDs.
was great to DVDs, and you could go. They had the thing where you could go online and watch them online. And you know, it was all the movies that were in the theater, so you didn't have to go to the theater to see them. And it was like go and Shecky would call me up and say, "I just got such and such," and I go, "Oh, can you send me? Can you give me a copy of it?" You know, in other words, screener season was a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, what are the screeners?
Sucks.
The Chicago 7, right? Netflix.
It's everything everyone else can watch.
And no, it's I in fact there's one film, Nomad Land, with Frances McDormand, which I wondered where we could find it, and it's on Hulu.
I actually got one
You know.
screener today on a DVD, a real one,
Really?
like the old days. I got one, yeah.
No, I got one too. They sent me Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I think that's
which is on Apple TV. You know, it's the only free thing I ever got from Apple.
So you guys are just mad that you can't lord the fact that you see
it's just all these movies.
For us, that's what it is.
All the movies that are nominated.
We can all see them now.
All the movies that are nominated are available online.
Yeah, everyone can see. You don't have your special little thing anymore.
Well, yeah, that's right. And I like to lord it over you and go, I just saw, you know, this and that.
I think we just found out who wrote that nasty thing about me.
What?
I think we just found out who wrote that nasty thing about me.
Who's that?
Dan. I'm kidding, Dan.
Oh
boy. I'm picking on you. I'm just picking on you.
That's what I got. Ted Lasso.
Well, anybody that would write a nasty thing about Jeff, probably there you go. There's the Ted Lasso right there.
Oh, I was talking about the guy that wrote about me.
Oh, by the way, I watched one episode of Ted Lasso last night on Apple TV.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go watch episode 2.
Oh, jeez.
I have no
Great.
desire to.
They used to give you these fancy DVDs that
but I mean, it was just a whole deal, right? You know, and now all these things are being played off on these streaming services because there's no theaters, and they're going to bring the theaters back, but nobody's going to go to the theaters anymore. Who wants to? Any of you guys want to go sit in a movie theater anymore?
I miss the movie theater.
Do you really? What do you miss about them? The guy kicking your seat?
Well,
the nice wallpaper they have on the wall.
The crying baby because somebody didn't figure that they had to get themselves a babysitter. So you're watching some movie and this baby is crying and the woman isn't nice enough to pick the baby up and take him out to the lobby. Yeah, you like that. That's great. It's great. The fact that the film is supposed to be in 3D, but it isn't. You know.
Well, I remember when I saw that, what's that Sandra Bullock movie, Gravity?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that movie on TV. I was like, man, I wish I would have seen this in the theater because that was quite a spectacle. There are spectacle movies like that you want to see on a big screen.
Well, but I have a big screen. You know, I have a 65-inch screen, and I'm sitting close enough to it that it takes up the same field of view as a movie screen would be in a theater. I've got stereo sound. That TV set will even play 3D. So what do I need to go to a movie theater for?
That's right.
I forgot. It was so I could pay $12 for a box of popcorn.
Right, exactly. The whole experience.
I can watch the movies right here in my messy office.
By the way, do you ever try to bring in your own popcorn?
I used to
I sneak it.
They take it away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in. You wear a big coat and you stick it in there.
And I've often wanted to have. I've always, if I have rued anything in my life, is that I've never had fuck you money. And if I had fuck you money, I would take a box of bring my own popcorn, have them tell me I can't have it, have them confiscate it, and then go get my lawyers and have them sue the movie theater, because that's restraint of trade. They're trying to force me to buy their popcorn, and their popcorn has nothing to do with the movie.
And you know what the court would probably say?
What?
You don't have to buy the popcorn.
Oh, I would win that one.
Probably would win.
So.
I would win
just have
that
a popcorn corking fee. You know, you just like
corking fee.
Corking fee.
Bringing the plastic bag.
Corkage.
Yeah.
Corkage in a restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring your own popcorn, and you can buy our butter for $17.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you a question here, because I think I want to get a little bit into politics tonight, because we haven't, and that scared Kevin away last night. I was looking at this fight that's going on in Washington about the $15 minimum wage. And I'm thinking to myself, shame on you for even arguing about a $15 an hour, minimum wage. It should be $25.
Sure.
You know, in this day and age, and anybody who works a job, and I don't care how crappy the job is, or how minuscule it is, or how little it takes talent to do. You come to work every day, You spend 40 hours. You deserve $25 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To
absolutely.
say $15 an hour like they're being magnanimous about it is bullshit. You know.
Well, also the fight for 15 has been going on for so long. By the rate of inflation, it should be
Yeah.
like 23 by now.
Yeah, totally. In San Francisco, if you make under like 112,000 a year with a family of 4, you're in poverty.
Right.
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's way over 15 bucks an
I-
hour.
Well, I'm telling you that people who say, well, $25 an hour, if you do work a 40-hour work week, that's going to be $1,000 a week. Yeah. Okay.
I think they ought to raise teachers' wages
Oh
too.
my God! Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Teachers, you go to school for 4 or 5 years to get a teaching credential.
And by the way, you got
and they pay you nothing
to get ahead in schools. You have to have a PhD.
Yeah, they make.
You know, you're
the masters.
The masters.
A master.
Yeah.
At least the masters, yeah.
You can if you're a teacher. If you're a teacher and you go to school for 5 years, you can get an MBA. You could probably work for Brian's company or something like that.
Yeah.
And make a lot more money.
Yeah.
You know, you really got to want to teach.
I mean,
And,
you
know, I'll bet you that Dan is not making $100,000 a year teaching.
Oh no, not at all.
And
No,
here,
that's-
Well, I'm a sub, so I'm way at the bottom of the
Well,
totem.
Well,
look
that
at-
sucks.
look at
It
this.
shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but yeah, I'm used to it, unfortunately.
you take your teacher, and you expect them to take care of your children for 6 hours a day, be among them, and they're basically babysitting your kids. They're taking care of your kids. How many parents are griping that because kids have to learn at home right now, they can't go out and take that other job and so on, and I just think that anybody that is entrusted with the raising of your children, who spend more time each day raising them than you do, deserve to be paid a rate commensurate with that. Well, you had your hand up, Brian. Apparently, you had something you wanted.
No,
to say.
I was agreeing with you about the whole teacher thing, and so Stephanie is having problems in math class, and the same teacher that Simon had 2 years previous, and that teacher was so patient. She kept emailing me, and I told her, please email me any issues. And Stephanie was missing assignments and all this stuff, and now she turned her grade around to an A, and she has a straight A's. But that one class math, she has a hard time with math.
Yeah.
She wanted to get out of that to go to the lower one because it's advanced math, and she turned her grade around, and the teacher, emailed me back saying, thank you guys so much for all the attention and all that stuff. And I told her, well, they're the real heroes that are dealing with this from afar, and they're not, they weren't trained to do that. So
John Larkin had his hand up, and then Ray.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere today, I think it was today, in the 1950s, 75% of the people in America thought that the government should provide a decent living for everybody, a living to live off of. But by the time of the Reagan era in the 80s, late 80s, it went down to about 30% of the American people thought that the government should provide a working living.
Well, I mean, how much is the minimum wage now? It's like 5.5, something like that.
Like 7 and change.
It's what?
Yeah.
The federal minimum wage is like 7 and change. They haven't raised it since like
$7.25.
$7.25.
Yeah, I just looked up 112 grand a year in San Francisco is the equivalent of $55 an hour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, with teachers, I mean, I think they're making probably around $50,000 a year here in the Bay Area. That's poverty.
Yeah.
Total poverty.
Just by what Ray said. I mean, that's just crazy.
And they're putting their own money into it. There's one teacher that I sub for.
Yeah, that really tops it off to me. That pisses me off that the government doesn't pay for school supplies.
Right. Like I said, there's this one teacher, she did a great job with the barriers for COVID. She got all this on her own dime. She got all this PVC piping and little plastic things, little borders. It was just fantastic. And, she paid for that out of her own pocket, her own dedication. They're not going to pay her anything for that.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing that we think we're being really magnanimous when we say $15 an hour. Ooh, just puts chills down my back. What would I do with all that money? You know,
especially in a city like New York, you could live like a king.
Yeah. $31,000.
Well, I mean, is the penalty for not having a good education, or the penalty for missing your front teeth, or the penalty for any number of other things, being thrust into poverty? You know, I don't think it's right. I don't think any American should be forced to live in any form of poverty. Oh. And I think, quite frankly, and I've said this years ago, and this people tell me I'm nuts when I say this, but I think we should actually pay people not to work. I think there's a certain amount of the public that doesn't want to work, finds work oppressive, and doesn't want to work, and there aren't enough jobs for everybody anyway. Okay, so why not pay people not to work, just like we pay farmers not to grow crops?
Not to grow food, yeah.
We sort of do that.
What do you mean we sort of do that?
Well, we welfare. A lot of people that are on welfare.
That's all. Welfare is all. It's means tested, and what I'm talking about is universal basic income, which that's a concept that's been around a while, but.
Well,
that's different from welfare.
All I'm saying is what Alex said, that we ought to pay people not to work. Well, welfare does that pretty good, unfortunately. A lot of these people that are on welfare can work. They can do something. I understand there's people that are handicapped, that can't walk or can't whatever, or they have PTSD from the war or whatever and can't do a job, but there's a lot of jobs these people on welfare can do, but to sit at home and do nothing.
I just feel that work in a lot of cases is so oppressive. Why should somebody work in order to survive? I mean, there's enough work for people who want it, who feel that the sense of accomplishment from working is out there. I mean, how many jobs do we have, and how many people are there to fill them? Rather than take a menial job or whatever, I think we should just tell somebody, if you don't want to work, if you don't like the concept of working, then we'll pay you not to work, because you're supplying a service by not working in allowing someone else to take a job you won't take.
Right. The only problem there is then you're setting up a whole thing where that person who's going to justify.
I'm a fucking socialist. What can I say?
Well,
okay?
Yeah, I am too. But it's a whole thing we're setting up here. We're doing that.
Well, no, but I don't get with the concept that somebody who doesn't want to work is lazy. I mean, they may want to just spend their lives doing some kind of artistic pursuit, and not
or
have
maybe
to.
You might want to volunteer doing things your whole life.
I don't. That sucks.
I mean, whatever. Somebody might want to do that. I mean,
I'm retired. Self-employed for many years, doing investing and stuff like that. I have enough assets to live on comfortably, own my own house, all that kind of stuff. Everybody ought to be able to do that if they want.
You are a cop, weren't you?
But by the way, Tony, how does it feel to be unemployed?
Well, actually, I'm still working because I'm selling my books. So I've been working.
No. I'm talking about the taking care of a little old lady job you had.
Can I say something? I miss my mom, but I don't miss the nights. I actually sleep at night. I feel so. She was calling me all night. I told her.
So far, I thought you would be when your mother died, you'd be slashing your wrists. Instead, you're doing some kind of Spanish
I
dance.
Do miss her, Alex. I do miss her because but I don't.
No, I think you're saying that to convince yourself you miss her.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss her.
But now I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you the big question. I'm going to ask you the big question. What do you miss about her?
That's the money. I miss her calling me, Anthony, but at 2 a.m, calling me. I used to jump out of bed thinking something was wrong. What do you want? I need water. I mean, she calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning for water. I mean, come on, Ma. Or I had to get her peppermint patties. I mean, Jesus Christ.
See?
I didn't sleep. I didn't because she used to call. I used to thought she fell out of bed or something. So what's the matter? Can I get some ice? Ma, you call me.
What a
coon.
terrible son. She was only worth something to you when she was making you money.
I
Okay.
went.
I miss.
so
I
much
miss
like-
her telling me how to cook things. That I do miss.
In case
Sounds
people
so
don't know
much
what we're
like
talking
Amazon,
about, Tony
too,
was
you
actually
know.
being paid by the city of New York to take care of his mother.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin does that too. Kevin gets a salary to take care of his mother. Gee.
That's a good job.
Yeah, too bad my mother isn't alive anymore.
Mm.
But then again, she'd be like 135, so
My God.
Maybe I can get somebody to come in and take care of me and get paid for it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
that.
What do you do for a living, John?
I'm an usher in theaters, you know.
Oh, awesome.
do you
But-
have the flashlight
but
and
no.
do you have the flashlight and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help
Are
take
they-
people to their seats, you know. And,
Are they open? Are there theaters
no,
open?
that's it. I haven't worked
Oh.
in a year.
No.
Fucking a year. I haven't been working. So, but I got some money, you know, that I'm living off of. But I want to go back to work. I'm going stir crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I
can
think
imagine.
everybody's going stir
You get
crazy. I mean,
free
Yes,
movie. You get free movie tickets.
No, it's not movies. It's like, you know, theater, like the rock concerts and the
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh, so
So
yeah,
that-
there's definitely none of that going on. The
Yeah,
concert.
I've been doing that stuff for like 30 years. I used to be a stagehand, you know, and now I'm getting too old for that. So I just do the usher, help people find their seats.
okay.
You could stay in practice. You can go to church and be an usher at church.
Yeah.
I always wondered in a movie theater, maybe you can answer this for me. I would pay, I don't know how many dollars. Now, between my wife and I, we pay about, $42 to see a movie here in New York. That's forget the cab fare. I'm just talking about to get in the theater.
Or the popcorn.
And they give you a ticket. And then, as you then walk through, they rip it in half.
Yeah.
Come on,
So
I
don't
bought
use
that.
it
I
again.
bought those tickets for $42. This is destroying valuable property. I never could figure that one out. Couldn't they come up with something better than handing you a ticket and then ripping it in half?
Well, now everything's electronic.
It's called observational comedy, folks. Get over it.
Now
It's
now
a
everybody
souvenir,
has
though.
tickets on their phones, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have the tickets
Yeah,
on your phone,
right, you
and then I
barcode.
did that once, and they broke my iPhone in half. So
Yeah, they ripped over the phone.
yeah.
So can I ask? I'd like to ask Dan a question. What do you teach, Dan?
Oh, well, I'm a substitute teacher, so it's kind of, I mostly stick with elementary school. Well, not mostly, exclusively, just because I don't want to teach anybody who's bigger than me.
They don't want you hanging out with young teenage girls, is what it's all about.
Yeah.
you know.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's like, upper elementary is kind of the sweet spot, I would say.
Do you have a
do they
full-time
like-
job? I mean, I understand it's substitute, but do they have enough work where you live that you? are working constantly?
That's the thing right now. No, because they're one of the bigger districts where I work most of the time is just coming back. So I've been working mostly in a smaller district, which I'm not needed as many days.
I've been told
that has really cut into things a lot.
What is the worst grade to teach?
the worst grade?
Because I've been told it's 3.
Eighth.
I tell you what, the days kindergartners defeat me.
Really?
Kindergarten, yes. Kindergarten, it's like herding little kittens. They're adorable, but the days I've had them, it's like I can't,
No, that's probably why you smoke weed.
Oh, by the way, Brian.
There's you have anxiety. I have plenty of anxiety.
I got something
I'm okay
important I
with
have to
this.
say here.
I'm just
Brian,
teasing
if you can see me, would you send me more of this? I'm running out.
Yeah. Okay. So the teachers got bumped up in the line. So February 28th. So they're starting to take the vaccines on Sunday. They sent us a letter saying we have set Wednesday, April 21st as start date for in-person learning for some students.
Well, you know,
Dr. Death have an update?
What'd you say, Steve?
Does Dr. Death have an update?
Oh yeah, Dr. Death have an update on what are the deaths now? They're going down.
yeah. Well, we had 2,046 American deaths.
Well, it's
today.
going down, but that's still 2,046 deaths.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Up to 510,000 now for total.
Oh.
That's still 2/3 of a 9/11.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Good perspective is like how many 9/11s per day.
Well, no, 9/11 was 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said it's 2/3 of a 9/11.
2/3 of 9/11.
No, it's double 9/11.
No.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. 3,000 people died in 9/11.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So how many times over that is this? I mean, it's 100 times, isn't it?
No, I mean just per day. I mean per day.
Oh, per day.
Oh,
yeah. No.
Yeah, it's like how many 9/11s per day?
Yeah, per day. For a while there in January, we were having 4,000 and 5,000 people dying a day.
Yeah,
You're
we're
talking
like
about how many World War IIs
They
is
passed
the
it.
death toll?
Oh yeah, I think this is the biggest thing.
It's
that I've
almost.
ever-
I think there are almost more deaths now. We're getting to the point where we're almost going to have more deaths than World War II.
We passed that already.
More
No,
US
we
deaths,
haven't passed
sure.
it. I think World War II was about 550,000 American lives. So we haven't hit it yet, but
what
we're
about
damn
the Civil
close. You know.
I don't know how many lost from the Civil War.
By the way, did you hear that Donald Trump?
lot, like a
Donald
million.
Trump is going to address CPAC on
Yeah,
Sunday.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Is it Sunday tomorrow or Sunday?
He needs the money.
Tomorrow.
Did you see the golden calf they were wheeling out for?
Oh, Jesus.
God damn!
What was
It
it?
looked so stupid.
It's a
They
golden.
have a golden idol of Donald Trump.
A
at
golden
CPAC.
statue of Trump, and I'll bet you anything, who
God.
and whoever they commissioned to make that thing, it's like they had to know they were making it look stupid.
How biblical is that?
Yeah.
Exactly, absolutely. It's the golden calf, and they're wheeling it down, and then there's audio of people like Trump 2024, 4 more years, yeah. Like, what the hell's with you, fucking?
It looks like a cartoon.
Well,
I'm looking
yeah.
at it right now.
Yeah.
Bob's Big
Some of
Boy.
the Republicans.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Bob's Big Boy.
There were some
you know.
Republicans who today didn't show up for the vote in Congress for the
Yeah.
the appropriations bill, and that was fine. But they used as their excuse that it was during COVID they didn't want to have to travel, but they would vote from home. Okay,
Right,
and then they all showed up at CPAC.
right.
Yeah.
Bobbick or whatever her name is, Bobadek or whatever, whoever that bitch is,
Over.
and Green.
Yeah.
I mean, today, what's his name, McConnell, said that if Donald Trump were the nominee of the party in 2024, I mean, isn't it a little early to talk about that? That he would vote for him.
I don't get this
Said
guy.
that? Oh,
I mean, this guy is as big a piece of shit as Trump. Here last week, Trump told him he was a worthless piece of shit. He turned around and told Trump he was the same thing, and now he's saying
Now
the
he's gonna vote for
Republicans
him.
go back.
I think what
his asshole.
What he's saying, though, I believe, I will try to interpret his intentions, is that if Trump ran in 2024, was the nominee of the party, because he's a good Republican, he'd vote for him. That's what I think he was saying.
Yeah.
But it didn't
Well,
come.
they-
But he didn't say that if he decided to run and had to go through the primary process, that he would necessarily support him.
Oh yeah, he would.
But we don't know.
They're both cut from the same piece.
Let's see here. 2024. That's about the time McConnell will be coming up for re-election. So I think he's going to be very careful about what he does.
Right.
McConnell just got reelected, so
Yes.
he's 2026.
6
years. Yeah, that's right.
Is it
Who has
2026?
absolutely no self-respect is Mike Pence.
Well,
I mean,
Pence disappeared.
No, but he's backing Trump again.
Is he?
Pence?
That's what I heard. Is that wrong?
Trump said he wouldn't speak at the CPAC if Pence showed up. So,
I heard
Pence,
that Pence and he had conversations already, and Pence
I
is
didn't.
kind of
Okay.
reconciled.
No, I haven't heard
Think
any of
that
that.
the
Well,
majority
maybe I heard the
leader,
wrong thing.
Leader
What's he
McCarthy-
trying to reconcile? He only did what his job was. You know.
But he also had like a murderous throng after him.
I know. Called on by Trump.
Yeah, because Trump said that Pence was a traitor and whatever, and he's on the hit list.
Here it says Pence reportedly speaks favorably of Trump in the GOP meeting and intends to launch a new political organization.
Oh, sure.
The other story that came out today was Biden is not going to do sanctions against Saudi Arabia for the Khashoggi thing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Why do we just kneel to them?
Alan,
God.
you had something you want to say?
Somebody here would probably know. Maybe many of you would. I wouldn't know. If Trump is charged with a felony and convicted of a felony in New York, can he run for president?
No. Nope.
No.
That's what my thought was.
Felons cannot run for president.
Hopefully, New York gets him on tax evasion or something.
But getting back now to the Khashoggi thing,
It worked with Al Capone.
Yeah, let's go to the Khashoggi thing. Biden, has said to the
confirmed that it was.
Well, the head of Saudi Arabia, whatever his name is, not the son, who's the son is accused of having
MBA.
MBA is accused of having been given the orders to go kill Khashoggi. His father is running the kingdom. Okay, and in his talk with the father, he told them they were upset by that, and that this report came out. Is saying exactly what went on, and that report was being held from being released and being made
covered up,
special. You couldn't release it by Trump, but now Biden said go ahead, release it, and it came out and said, hey, the son.
But we knew all along anyway.
Yeah. But Biden is not going to take any sanctions against Saudi Arabia for that. In spite of the fact the guy was a reporter for an American newspaper. He
was an American citizen, too.
Was he a citizen? I don't know.
No, he wasn't a citizen. He was just a...
Yeah.
He had a green card.
He had a green card and was working for what, the Washington Post?
Yeah, one of those.
Yes, Washington Post.
But Biden has decided he's not going to penalize the Saudis for it.
Yeah, we need their oil.
We don't need their oil.
Not as much anymore, but we still do.
We don't. Very little of the oil that we use, we get from the Mid East. So I mean, I don't know why we like to cozy up to the Saudis. I can understand the oil for a while there, but then again, they need us too. They got to get somebody to buy that oil, and if we don't buy that oil, that hurts them too. But I don't know. Biden's a little wishy-washy on certain things. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand why he doesn't want to put the minimum wage thing in this package because it's just going to hold it up, okay? But that he should then forge ahead with trying to get the $15 per hour wage. But I'm saying it should be 25, and everybody should make $52,000 a year because in today's market, that's the kind of money you need just to survive. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. They should break it out and make a new bill with just the just for the minimum wage.
Yeah.
And make the Republicans in the Senate block it because it would need 60 votes because it's not a you can't do it on reconciliation and then say, okay, you're going to block that? Fine.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the what do they call it? The filibuster. Mm-hmm. And then we'll fucking push it through without it,
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, all I'm saying is I understand why he maybe is moving it out of that package. But I think are you getting tired of Biden being on television too much?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not. I don't watch it. I'm delightfully bored. That
Every
you
time I
don't
turn
wake
it
up
on,
and get
the
to it.
only two people you see on MSNBC anymore is Joe Biden or Anthony Fauci. You know, and I'm sick of seeing both of them. Just send me a memo, let me know what's happening, and do your job, and leave me alone. I don't need you on television every 5 minutes. I wish they would get caught in some kind of scandal and like Cuomo disappear. Cuomo's been tap dancing around dealing with the press, so he doesn't have to be asked questions. Did you really touch her knee?
Yeah.
The Saudi butcher is MBS.
Isn't the woman that accused him, Tony, of improprieties? Isn't she running for mayor of New York?
I think you might be right, Alex.
Yeah.
I think you might be correct on that. I think she has aspirations.
Do we have a motive, folks?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, it's so convenient because the election, I think you said the other day, I was listening to the Monday show, I think you said the election is in the fall, right? For the mayor then.
For the mayor's in the fall, yeah.
Witch hunt.
Yeah. And everybody's who do we have? We have that guy who was running for president, want to give everybody $1,000.
Oh, yeah, Becky doesn't like him.
Yang.
I like him, Alex.
He's running for mayor. I don't
Yeah.
care. Listen, anybody's better than de Blasio.
Yeah, he's very divisive.
He's gone.
The school chancellor dropped down now today, or he stepped down.
Really?
Yeah, they were saying it was on the radio.
I don't know. They just handled. They've
things.
handled this whole distribution of the vaccine so badly. To begin with, there shouldn't be anything like the city program and the state program. There should be one program either run by the state or run by the city or whatever that deals with this, and it's coordinated. But it's like I was talking to my doctor who works at Mount Sinai, and I said, "Can you get the COVID vaccine there?" And he said, "No." He said, "Sometimes they put out a notice, yeah, we have some." He said, "But we don't get much." And I said, "Why? You're a hospital." And then he said, "Because Cuomo wants all that supply for his little, vaccine centers." So, I mean, it should not become a political football. And I think it should be a coordinated effort, and the databases should talk to the databases, and it should be done in a nice, smooth fashion. And I hear in California, it's pretty smooth. The people walk in, they get it fast, and they get out.
That's right.
And here in New York, it seems to be a major clusterfuck, and we can't figure out why. And old
Because
people,
it's New York.
and then they got old people standing out in the cold while they're spending 2.5 hours getting you in for your shot. There's something very, very wrong about that,
It's time for you to move back to California.
Well, not really. I hear that that San Francisco is just full of Silicon Valley assholes. So.
Whoa.
I don't know.
And he didn't even put it on Facebook, right on the show.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
Yes.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
You go south.
South 101 or 280, either way.
Yeah.
El
for
Camino.
most of my life and living in San Francisco, I never went to San Jose. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know the way?
I think I've been in. Yeah, I do. But then I started when I worked at the Live 105. We did these breakfasts with Bennett, and we did some of them in San Jose. So then I was in San Jose. But up until then, I had never been to San Jose. I think I went down there once to try and see if I could get an abortion for my girlfriend. But that was about it. That was about it.
I'm glad
Anyway.
Adrian didn't
Don the
come in on that.
Beachcomber?
Huh?
Don't you remember that Bennett breakfast with Bennett at Don the Beachcomber?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Did I do it? I don't know.
That was Cupertino,
I was
think.
doing a lot of drugs back then.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, listen, that's it for the week. Thank you so much, Dan, for joining us tonight and having all those nice things to say about Jeff. And Alan, thank you so much. Good having you here. Please don't mind what that guy had to say. I defended you. And Brian Neary, thank you. Charlie Wallace. Old Charlie Fortos. Great to see you again. Trucker
cool.
Steve, good to see you. Jeff, I love the hell out of you and your wife. You're great people. Ray Renati, he's even been to this apartment. Yeah.
Wow.
I have.
And John Larkin and Tony. Tony's been to this apartment too. Gee, a lot of you people have something in common. Jeff.
Thanksgiving 2021. We're going.
That's right. We're all coming.
Alex's place.
Anyway, everybody give
Invasion.
a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you. Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel. Let me just hang up on them unceremoniously. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with The Intersection on GabNet. His way of getting to him is using Skype, and the address is GabNet Live. I'll see you again Monday with the 4 o'clock show, 4 o'clock Eastern, the pop-up show, and then I'll see you again right back here for this show on Tuesday night at 10:30. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, be safe out there and wear a mask, and if you can, get a vaccine.